So the last measure of position that we're going to focus on, the last overall topic regarding this, is going to be something that's known as a box plot. And a box plot is a picture. It's a way to organize your data, a way to picture your data, and to show you the shape of a distribution by using quartiles. And quartiles is different from percentiles, where percentiles divides a sample into 100 pieces, therefore 100 percentiles, 100%. A quartile is a quarter, which is going to be divided into 4, because each of those 4 pieces holds 25%. Now there are 3 quartiles, and then there is a 4th quartile, which is the maximum value. Now, a quartile, which divides the data into quarters. Now, there are 3 quartiles of specificity. The first quartile, which is Q1, represents the 25th percentile. Q2, which is quartile 2, represents the 50th percentile, or the median for the data set. Quartile 3 is the 75th percentile. And what we call this sometimes quartile 4, which is the maximum data value. So it may be called the max. Now, when it comes to the quartile and to constructing a box plot, we take something that's called a 5-number summary. And a 5-number summary is a set of numbers that represents the minimum value, the quartiles, and the maximum value. And based on the 5-number summary, we can construct something called a box plot, which is a graphical representation of the 5-number summary that illustrates the shape of a distribution. When it comes to shape of a distribution, you will learn that more in Stats 250 because distribution shape is very essential when it comes to statistics. But because this is still the introduction to statistics, we're not going to necessarily go into distribution shape. We have something also called outliers. And outliers are data values that stray far away from the clusters of data. Basically, outliers are numbers that doesn't belong in the data set, numbers that are way too small or way too large to fit within the data set. Now it says here, there are 2 types of outliers. There's a lower outlier and an upper outlier. And there's a formula to compute each outlier. And the lower outlier is Q1, which is quartile 1, minus 1.5 times IQR. And I'll explain what IQR is in a second. And the upper outlier is going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, which I'll explain what that is in a minute as well. Well, in a few seconds. Now, what is IQR? Well, IQR is known as the interquartile range. And the interquartile range is the distance between the first and third quartiles for a data set. And to find the interquartile range or the IQR, that's going to be quartile 3 value minus quartile 1's value. And with all this right here, we can use to find the 5-number summary, outliers in the interquartile range, and we can use that to actually construct our box plot. So in this video here, what we're going to do is we're going to find the 5-number summary. In the video after that one, we're going to find the interquartile range and if there are any outliers. And in the last video, we're going to draw the box plot. So here, it says complete the 5-number summary, find outliers if any, and construct the box plot. First thing is first, let's put our numbers in order from smallest to largest. So I see 0. I see another 0. One more 0. I see a 2.4. I see a 2.9. 3.7. Then I see 15.8. 16.8. 17.2. 18.6. Make some more space. 19.5, and then 76.9. And I guess we can determine which one is already the outlier. But let's do the math first. Now, you want to find your quartiles first. Because remember, the 5-number summary, which I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to write over here, is going to be the minimum value. Is going to be your first quartile, which I'm going to call lower quartile, which is quartile 1. Is going to be the median, which is quartile 2. Your upper quartile, which we're going to call quartile 3. And the maximum, which can sometimes be called quartile 4. So in this case, we can already identify the minimum and maximum value. The minimum value is going to be 0. The maximum value is going to be 76.9. So 0, 76.9. Okay. Now, after you identify the minimum and maximum value, the next step you're going to do is you're going to find your quartiles. You always find quartile 2 after you identify the minimum and maximum value. And quartile 2 is the median of the data set. Now, going back to chapter 11, section 3, we found the median of a data set. And to find the median of a data set, we cancel the numbers at the ends till we find the middle value. If there are 2 middle values, you're going to find the midpoint of those 2 middle values, and that will be your median. So let's go about that. So we're going to find the median. Now here, if you look, there are 2 middle values. So to find the median in this case, which is going to be quartile 2, you're going to take 3.7, make my pen a little bit smaller, by the way. 3.7, add it to 15.8, and divide it by 2. That's going to be 3.7 plus 15.8. Oops. Divide that by 5. Sorry, but divide that by 2. I'm bugging out a little bit. 9.75. That is going to be our quartile 2, and that's going to be our median. The symbol for median is MD. 9.75. Okay. Now, once we find our median, let's put that in black, by the way. To find quartile 1 and quartile 3, you're going to do this. For quartile 1, you're going to take all the values that are smaller than the median. The median is 9.75. So take all those values that are smaller than the median. 0, 0, 0, 2.4, 2.9, and 3.7. And you're going to find the median of that data set. And that will be your quartile 1. So, to find the median here, won't be 0, 3.7. The median of this data set will be your quartile 1. Because there's 2 middle values, you're going to add those up. So 0 plus 2.4 and divide that by 2. So that's going to be 2.4 divided by 2, which is 1.2. And that is your quartile 1, your first quartile, or you can call it your lower quartile. To find your third quartile or your upper quartile, you're going to do the same thing as we did with the numbers below the median, but to find the third quartile, you can take all the numbers that are above the median. So numbers that are larger than 9.75 and find the median of those numbers. So 15.8, 16.8, 17.2, 18.6, 19.5, and 76.9. And let's find the median of those values. And once again, two middle values. So to find quartile 3, 17.2 plus 18.6, divide that by 2. 35.8, divide that by 2. Our quartile 3 is going to be 17.9. And this is our 5-number summary. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys understood how to find the minimum, the maximum value, which is pretty straightforward. When the numbers are in order, the minimum is the smallest, the maximum is the largest. To find the second quartile, which is the median, find the median of the data set. To find the lower quartile, which is quartile 1, take all the values that are less than the median, and then find the median of those numbers. And for quartile 3, take numbers that are above the median, and then find the median of those numbers that you took. And this is your 5-number summary. Take care.